Hi, my name is Marcia Lehman and I'm a Knox County Master Gardener. And today we will be pruning an elderberry. I first got this elderberry bush, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago when the town of Farragut, where I live, was doing a native plant giveaway. And when I received it, it was a single 3-foot whip. And as you can see now, it's quite tall. In fact, before I started to shoot the video, I actually got a tape measure out, and I can tell you that this plant is now 10 feet tall. I do grow it because I like the berries, and elderberries are a cane shrub, and all of the fruit are generally born on new growth on 2-year-old canes, sometimes 3-year-old canes. So if you really want to grow it for fruit, it needs to be pruned annually. So what I'm going to do today is to start by taking out the oldest canes, which in fact are the biggest, thickest canes, and they also have the roughest bark. So they're really rather obvious. So here's the first one that I'm going to take out. And here's the second one. And after I get those two out, we'll take another look and decide if there are any more. Now these are 1.5 inches in diameter, so they're coming out with a saw, a little folding saw, which is the only thing you can get into a space and make a cut close to the ground and take out those two old canes. Now you can see I'm playing with the another limb in the back and deciding that there's a third one that I'm going to take out, also with a folding saw, as there's just no room to get a bow saw and it's too big for a pruner. So the third one is now gone. Now we'll step back and take a look at the plant overall and talk about removing anything that may be dead, diseased, damaged, or what I call dysfunctional. So here's a dead one. That's going to come out. That's the only dead one that I see. This this cane in the back comes up and does what I like to call a moonshot, and so that falls in the category of dysfunctional. So that one's going to come out. And then as we go into the middle of the bush, we'll want to take out a few canes or prune a few canes just to get sufficient sunshine and airflow into the center of this 10-foot tall shrub. So let's stand back, take a look at it again. We'll take a few of these off, and then we'll make another assessment. So whereas I used the folding saw for those 3 big canes we took, now I'm using loppers. Again, what I'm taking off is too large for pruners, even though the pruners are in my holster on my jeans. But that first one that came off was dead. Here's one that needs to come out. Now, one of the interesting things about elderberries is that they have opposite branches, whereas many other shrubs have alternating branches, which is what I was trying to point out on that long branch. But you can clearly see that these are opposite branches. That sometimes makes pruning a little more challenging, but don't give up. Okay, so here goes the moonshot. Take that off at the ground, snip. There's here I'm playing with a couple of them to say, gee, if I thin out a few, maybe the ones that are inclined to rub will grow a little straighter and won't rub. So take this one out of the middle and then play around with it. Look at that. That one's got some funky shape to it, and trying to prune that out is going to be a challenge because of those opposing branches. So I'll wiggle my pruners around in here in a while, and there, ooh, okay, I got it. There it goes. Let's keep looking. This is, there's a young cane, and maybe it'll straighten up and grow where I want it to grow. We'll give it a chance to do that. There's no reason to over prune an elderberry. As the handout indicates, elderberry, the fruits grow on 2-year-old canes. And so we really need to take out anything that's older. That's what those 3 big ones were. Now I'm really getting into thinning out the middle for sunshine. So there, instead of taking the center, I'm taking the 2 opposing branches and keeping the center stem. And I do like to pick up my debris as I go and put it in a pile. It just makes cleanup a little easier at the end. One more snip. That one was a little wonky in its shape. So here we go. Here's the first big cane that we took off. Oh yes, and the tote on the side contains my loppers and my Lysol sanitizing spray. Just keeps me from losing things. But there's the first big cane we took off. Here's the second cane we took off. So here's the third cane we took off. So those first 3 cuts with a folding saw took off all of that. But as you can see, they're quite large. Those are definitely not going to be bearing fruit. And then here's all the little other pruning that I did with the loppers. So here's the before picture, here's the after picture, and there's no question that there's more room for airflow and sunshine.